Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year and Chodesh Tov. I'm so excited to have you all here tonight. And I want to thank specifically Vita, who sent me the most adorable and inspiring Divrei Torah from Rabbi Ginsburg. Tonight at sundown, the new month of Shvat begins. The sense of Shvat is eating. We must eat and drink in the proper manner for the sake of our physical health and the joy and expansion of our souls, without extreme abstention or extreme indulgence. When we eat and drink in health and joy, we merit their inner intention, clarification of the holy sparks within our soul, food, and drink. Thank you so much for sharing that. Pasha shared that, sorry. Pasha shared that. And it was Pasha. And so inspiring, so beautiful. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate welcoming a new Jewish month and welcoming the new secular New Year with you guys. And if you are ready for a new month spiritually, for Shvat, if you are ready for a new year, use the chat right now and write Happy New Year or Chodesh Tov, whatever floats your boat tonight, whatever sparks you in the chat right now. Let's get this going and really engage, because one of the most amazing things that us coaches were talking about for ourselves before we got on this call together, we spend time really, checking in and holding each other accountable, is what recommitment really means to us, and how when we are emotionally eating, we also forget sometimes, and we feel like we're back where we started for a minute. We have to check ourselves in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm still me. I've still come as far as I've come. I'm not back where I started. And no matter what happens, and when we get off course, there's always opportunities to not just recommit, but to reclaim what really works for you, not just for us or for somebody else in the group, but for really works for you. And tonight we're going to quickly cover what are the principles that really work for everybody. What's the magic here? And I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. What's one thing that you're reclaiming for yourself? What's one thing that you're going to reclaim? And I'm going to go over and I'm going to open it up and we're going to talk about everything you guys are saying. So let's start just already filling the chat, already connecting. What's one thing you want to reclaim?
What do you mean by reclaiming?
I mean, like, what is something that you did for a little bit of time that really started working for you? Was it checking in with your meals, with your group? Was it sharing recipes? Was it working out and sharing a selfie? Was it engaging with your coach and sending her a message?
Okay, I got it.
And put that, what it is that worked for you that you kind of got lost. Two things that are super common for why we get lost is we kind of get confused and we think, I outgrew this. I've outgrown sharing my sweaty selfie. I don't have a problem working out anymore. I take a walk every day. I do a workout most days. I don't need to acknowledge that. That comes easy to me now. Maybe I always eat vegetables every day. Like vegetables, who doesn't eat vegetables? I eat vegetables. But I'm not posting pictures of my vegetables anymore. Here's the thing. When you share your strength, you create momentum. You create motivation, because then you're connected. And when you have something hard, like you got the workout in, but you're reaching for that third cookie and you should probably drink some water and make a salad or cut some vegetables, you're not going to feel ready to connect. You're not going to feel connected to everybody else. You're not going to be sharing and celebrating yourself and celebrating others. And that's really the magic of what creates the sustainability in this program, is not just the 4 bunnies: drink more water, eat more vegetables, get on a scale, track your food. It's celebrating it, reclaiming that these are the things that aren't just going to get me to my goal, they're going to keep me going to my goal. So what are some of the things that you guys are going to reclaim for yourselves?
Lily, you want me to go through the chat? Because there's some
Yeah,
amazing
tell me a
things
few,
there.
like pull out a few things that you think that you're seeing and like resonating, and like you read them out loud, and we'll celebrate.
Okay.
people.
So I love what Beth said, because I think sometimes this is underrated, about connecting more deeply with my accountability partner.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes that gets underrated, accountability partner, or even the group, but that but even something offline if it's not the group.
So Beth, if you don't mind me calling on you, when you say like connecting more deeply, right? We know that there's like, I send her my tracker, and then there's, I send her why my tracker is the way it is. Talk to me about that.
So the funny thing is, just last week, it's too bad Ria's not online to hear this, because at like 1 a.m. US time, I sent her this rambling, wonky, sleep deprived rant. And I had this realization that while she and I are still like talking and connecting every day, it had become very personal. It's wonderful. She's now a great friend of mine, but it lost the partial focus of the nutrition and of the stop me before or I just did this and help me figure out. And I just last week texted her that I was recommitting, that I felt like I had kind of lost that focus in our friendship, and that I was gonna try to go back to that and to make better use of her, not just as a friend, but as an accountability partner.
Oh my God.
I find that this week I've been really sad she's not online. I'm texting with her on WhatsApp at the same time that we're on the Zoom. But
get on the Zoom, Ria.
But she needed to spend time with her kids, she said.
Yeah.
But and now you said your daughter, my daughter tested positive yesterday, so I'm in the house, and how do I not snack all day? How do I drink all my water with the mask, walking around with the mask on in the house all day? And using her as a sounding board and reminding me to do all that.
And feel free to message me as well. We can be accountability buddies on that.
It's fun. I polished my silver.
I reorganized my bathroom closet,
which is a bit of a workout, I have to say. Like, I'm a little schwitzy from having scrubbed some stuff that hasn't been polished in 5 years.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna mute you. Just two things. One thing, just two things I really want to add to what Beth said, in case you guys take the opportunity right now. This is how you find an accountability buddy. You go into the Team Thrive group or your personal WhatsApp group. I recommend both, because some of the most successful accountability buddies are in different coaches groups, and it's really nice to learn from everybody. So post in Team Thrive and post in your group, and this is how you ask for an accountability buddy. You say, this is my name. This is how much weight I want to lose. This is my weight range currently. These are my biggest struggles. I have young children, I have old children, career, I'm up late, I don't sleep well. These are my things, and I'm looking for an accountability buddy because I want to do this thing. I want to get to bed earlier. I want to meal prep better. I really struggle with water, and I want someone who I can talk to about water and drinking more water, because you're going to find that we have some of the most successful accountability buddies. Their lifestyle and their families are completely different, but the things they want to work on are in alignment. And so they can really riff back and forth from different perspectives. So that's really helpful. Ayala, you want to pick out one new thing from the chat, something else somebody said that we can call on?
Yes, but just a quick thing on that. Also, or private message right now in the chat to somebody, because if you are committed enough to be on this call, then you want somebody else that is also ready to be doing that. And it doesn't have to be an accountability, it doesn't have to be somebody that you knew before. Sometimes that's what Beth was saying is what gets you more focused, because it might not start off with personal. Anyway, I just want to throw that in. Don't be like, oh, but I don't know them. Yeah. So there was idea came up in different ways, the idea of,
I just want to say that Ria, who is my amazing accountability partner, I did not know a year ago. And we only met in person last month for an hour. So just, it happens.
And that's one of the most powerful things, because really you stay focused more on your goal. And while you get a friendship, you're able to talk to her about stuff you might not want to talk to somebody you know, like face to face, or like who you see at the Macolet every day. So Ayala, what's the next thing that you saw
Okay.
that we
so
should
a thing
talk about?
that came up a lot was different forms of food prep or being consistent with food planning and like that kind of idea. You know, planning my snacks, planning dinner and done, planning to be more consistent. Like again, the whole idea and concept of, you know, consistent food prep. I think all that kind of all flows together.
Okay, amazing. So just two things that I want to recognize is great job, everybody. If you wrote food prep and making a plan ahead of time is your thing that you want to work on, I challenge you right now to go into a little bit more detail, and don't just say, I'm going to plan a snack, I'm going to plan my dinner, but what about that needs planning? Because it doesn't mean that you have to have like a really complicated menu, right? Ayala did a great live. If you didn't check it out, go check it out in the group about it's really just having food in your fridge and kind of knowing, but really pick a small, very concrete, specific thing that you want to work on about planning your snack. I want my snack to be half vegetables. I want my snack to be at this time. I want my snack to be a single carb serving. I want my snack to be water first. Like, be really concrete and specific. Can somebody raise their hand here who wrote snack or meal prep? And I'd love to hear from you. Chana, can you, I'm unmuting you. No, you don't want to, you don't want to share just for a sec? Just for a sec. What's one concrete
Just for a
thing?
sec.
One concrete thing.
I would say I made a bar mitzvah in the middle of November.
Mazal tov.
And until then, thank you. I would say until then, I was beyond, I had a focus that I knew I had to get into this dress and pictures and all of that kind of stuff. And I was so in tune. I had exactly, I mean, I still have the same consistent breakfast. And I'm pretty much mostly always dinner and done. It's just that period from breakfast to lunch, I would say, is what I struggle with. But when I was in the zone, like I had exactly the same and the same kind of snacks and everything worked well and whatever. And now it's kind of a little bit, because maybe I don't have, I mean, obviously we all have a goal, but my goal isn't as time bound, shall we say, as it was to get into something for a specific time.
I love that, and I want to point out two things that Alana always says. She always says that the whole reason she does these diet bets, which I'm not a big fan of the concept of a diet bet, but she does it for this purpose. She says that very often the noise in our head, well, maybe I'll have this snack today, maybe I'll have this snack today, is cleaned out and clarified and just goes quiet when we have a short-term goal. When we have a short-term goal, somehow it puts on mute. They're like, I need to have 17 options. We're like, no, I need that more. I need to look good in those pictures more than I need to have 17 options for my snack. I'm going to pick a snack that works and move on. So I think January is a great time, if you don't know what that snack is for you, to find one. And if you have one, maybe look for one more that's around the same line, so you can have something else that feels good. And so to really remember how good it feels. Could one of the other coaches write some of those things to share in the chat of when you're looking for an accountability buddy? Someone asked. Amazing. Okay. Anybody else about dinner specifically have something that you're taking on? I saw somebody say one plate. Pesha, did you just raise your hand for a sec? Nope. Anybody else have a dinner goal that they want to
Tracking.
share?
Oh, are we still talking about planning? Because people also.
Yeah, just checking in. Okay, what's the next thing? What's our next topic?
Well, also it was brought up, I don't know if Jude can speak or not, but on that idea of the plan. And again, I think this part is also huge, is I'm going to read Jude what you wrote out loud. I can make a great plan for what I'm going to eat the next day and prep my meals. But what about when I then go and buy some chocolate and eat it and enjoy it? Meaning sometimes when we're talking about something short term, like what do you do when something is pulling you to not stick to the plan? Or to what I would say sometimes test yourself. You made a plan for the next day and then you just have chocolate in the house, or pick your poison.
So I love some of the things that different coaches had mentioned in our, sorry, I didn't mean to mute you. Honestly, I unmuted you. One of the interesting things I think about the word recommitment is honesty. And one of the things that I love about like for me, the word criticism hurts. Some people like criticism. They find it very constructive. I like constructive criticism. I don't know. For me, criticism is not fun. And constructive criticism doesn't usually come as constructive criticism. I usually feel like constructive criticism is just help. Like if someone's giving me really constructive help, like I'm excited. But criticism, there's this, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I make a plan and it's just not realistic. I'm not really being honest in what I want. And if your challenge is like, you're going to go buy chocolate, you really want to get a little honest with yourself and be like, do I want to put in my tracker that I want to go buy chocolate every day? And I dare you to put it in there and say, this is what I want. I'm owning it. I want to have chocolate. Maybe I'm going to buy this chocolate and instead of eating it all in one day, I'm going to make it last 3 days. Play a game with yourself. That chocolate now has to last 3 days. But really like be honest, because needless self-criticism demotivates us. It makes us believe that we can't do it when of course, every single person on this call and every single person in our group is capable. You already are worthy of it. You already are capable of it. Compassion is when you're like, you know what? I'm in this season of life right now where I really want to have chocolate every day. Maybe I want to get the Godiva 75% individually wrapped chocolates, buy them at my grocery store, and make a plan, right? Maybe I want to put it in a really concrete, constructive way. Maybe I want to put Lily's hot cocoa every day at that time. And then you want to look at how you're traveling around. Like, where is that stop on your schedule? Is it like something you pass every day that you can maybe take a different route? Maybe you can notice that it comes after some other trigger and there's something else happening, and just get really honest with yourself. And that's perfect for what our accountability group is really meant for. It's sharing, hey, today, I don't want to stop at the McCullen and buy chocolate, and writing that in your group. And then checking in later and being like, and this happened, and then that's why I went and bought it, and I walked past it. And every single day, feeling excited to win. Because when we own a choice that we have to make, and then we overcome that choice, like we do the small, teeny weeny thing that we said we were going to do, we get to end every day feeling like a winner. And that's the absolute best feeling. Vida, you want to share something on that point?
Yeah, I just posted the same thing, basically. Somebody gave me a bag of cinnamons, little cute ones, and it smelled really good. So I did sneak one, I did take one, but I put the rest in the freezer in individual bags. If I want to give myself permission to take one out, I have to first defrost it. How much do I really want it? You know, and I could have eaten a few more, but I didn't. I just put the bag in the freezer.
Great job. And again, because you took control of your environment, you owned, this is something I don't want to throw away. I want to have it, but I want to have it in a way that I'll be able to work with it. One of the things that came up, and I'm interested, Ayla, if this came up in the chat, was this concept of control. That a lot of times, especially in 2021, and right now, my kid has corona. I'm sorry. Hello? There we go, back to meeting. That was Ms. Rodriguez calling to tell us our corona results, but we already got them online. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, right. So the idea of when life is getting out of control everywhere else, sometimes people feel like this need to take control with their food or to just let it all go. Well, everything's going to hell in a handbag anyway. I can't possibly take ownership of this thing that I could totally do. Like, come on, really? When everything is going like this, I have to do this? Or it's like, oh, this is my safe space. Even when other things are really uncertain, I can trust myself. Like, I can do this, I can do this. And that's reclaiming, and that's a lot of the sweaty selfie. That is a lot of the sweaty selfie, guys. And the sweaty selfie can be you with your plate of food, or it can be you with a workout. Because when you do a workout, you had to choose to set aside that time. And it doesn't matter if it's in the morning or in the evening. It matters that you set aside time and then you owned it. What's something else that somebody shared?
Okay, so nobody necessarily specifically phrased it like that when talking about control or not, but I think in connecting what you just said about being excited about the win, then Jordana did say in terms of something that, you know, was celebrating small scale and non-scale wins. And I think that can definitely connect that whole idea of feeling when things are out of control. That, and I believe also a couple of people, like I said, also tracking where to be celebrating the small wins, and yes, to be celebrating so that you can stay in this momentum. So I think that's a great point that you just made about being excited about celebrating the wins, to also be something, when we said something we want to recommit to, right? So Jordana had written that something she wants to recommit to.
Jordana, I see you're not on video. Are you able to come on? I'd love to hear from you.
I'm here. I'm just like in pajamas, so I didn't want to put my video on, but I'm here.
I'm in pajamas. Can we have a pajama party? We promise not to judge. Come have a pajama party with me.
Come on, Jordana. Show us your beautiful face. Let's
Come on.
go.
We all know you're not in a wedding dress like your profile picture. So pajamas are
And it's a
fine.
sexy
Sitting
picture.
at my table and like have my phone next to me.
It's like such a
put on
sexy
camera while I'm
picture.
talking.
Jordana, tell us, like, what's a small win to you? Because there's no such thing as small wins. All wins only come in small packages.
I mean, all wins do come in small packages, and then, you know, when they accumulate, they're bigger wins, and then those are so easy to like walk around and be like, I lost 30 kilo, you know, like that's an easy one to like walk around and tell people. But my mother-in-law actually said to me the other day, she's like, you look really good. And I was like, well, I lost 5 kilo, and, you know, I'm not at my goal weight, I'm not anywhere near it, but I lost 5 kilo, and that was a lot of weight, and felt really good to say that, even though I'm not a quarter of the way there or half the way there or anything. And I just felt really good. And I mean, Jen already knows this, but my husband bought me he bought me 6 helium balloons when I lost 5 kilo, so that we could hold them and let go of them and watch them disappear and fly away, because I lost those 6 kilos. Well, I lost 5 kilos and one more for Shanaba, one more for next week to lose. And we let go of them together, and it felt so good. And to me, I was like, oh, I'm celebrating my win by texting him and telling him how proud I am of myself of losing 5 kilo. And to him, he was like, let's do something momentous to this. And he bought those balloons and let go of them with me. And he also bought me a watch, and so I could always see it on my wrist and remember that good things take time, and that I'm taking time for this good thing to happen, and it's working and it's great. And so now I have this watch as my reminder, and those balloons in my video that just make me so happy every time I see it and watch it over and over. So that's, you know, it was like a small win to me when I was like, oh, I'm celebrating it by texting him and telling him, but it was to him. And, you know, obviously, like when I took a step back, I was like, yeah, you know, that was a huge win. It wasn't small. It was amazing, you know, and he recognized that out loud with me and to me and for me. And it just felt so good. And I was like, I'm gonna do that every time I lose 5 kilos, you know, like I need to do something big and crazy that like feels so good every time, you know? So that was,
I just want to thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing that, because the only way, like we say, people who regain the weight, it's because they didn't do what you just did. They don't celebrate every kilo. They wait till it's enough. But you're worthy and you're enough of a balloon celebration for every kilo. And I would love to see.
And I don't think that, like, I feel like when he did that, it also made me feel like there's not a certain weight that I'm going to lose that we should do something big and giant and like a big fancy watch. Like every little bit is something huge. And that was something that I was like, okay, 5 kilos is like, yay, a text message. And then 10 kilos will be something bigger, and 15 kilos will be something even bigger than that. But he was like, no, 5 kilos is humongous. Let's stop and party that right now, you know? And that just, it feels so good. And it was already like, I think a week ago or more, and it's still feeling so good.
That just moves me, and thank you so much for sharing that. And remember, guys, not everybody has a spouse like that, but be that person for someone else in this group. Be
Totally.
that person for your accountability buddy. Be that person in the group who, when you see somebody post a win, comments and cheers them on. Be that person, because we all deserve to have that person. And the best way to have that person is to be that person for someone else. And that is exactly the point of a sweaty selfie. Every time you guys post a sweaty selfie, that balloon release is how it should feel, because then it's like you can't even wait to lose more and to do more. Thank you so much. That was like such a valuable share. Anybody else want to share something? Or you see another comment, or somebody who had a great something?
You mean besides the comments that everybody wants a husband like Jordana, or?
Well, I think you have to like look at their wedding picture. I mean, just look, that guy is obsessed with her right now.
Blessing now behind this non-camera.
That was incredible. And I think in some ways we've actually come, a bit full circle. And Beth even answered when somebody said, how do I deal with the challenge? How do I deal with wanting to buy the thing or not stay after I planned one thing? And Beth actually wrote back, accountability partner, but accountability group, or what you just said, a support. Those are the things. That's when you need to reach out. The good, the struggle, the everything, that's what you need to have. I think that really, in a way brought us full circle, to a lot of the challenges, a lot of the idea of recommitting, but
So-
otherwise, if somebody has something else they want to share that has not been put in the
So
chat.
we're at 8:30 right now. So I'm actually I want to wrap up here with just summing up a few things that are going to be happening in the group this week. This week in the group, a few things, we're going to be posting those amazing coloring pages again. So again, if you're looking for a balloon release, take that coloring page, fill it out, do it with your kids, do it with yourself, celebrate every time you finish a program, celebrate every time you do 50% of the month, if that's your goal, or 75% of the month, or every day of the month you move. Celebrate wins in the group. And I am going to challenge you guys to start a new hashtag, wins in the group, hashtag wins. And then every day that you can share any win. You know what? Right now, drinking this liter of water is a win, because it's been a really, really tough emotional day, guys, for me. And I did not drink enough. And committing and putting iced tea, this is the Wazowski berry iced tea and a stevia in the water to get the water in, and make it fun for myself, is really a win, because it was super hard for me to do right now. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have tiny wins like that you deserve to own. And whether it's the sweaty selfie that you got to work at, and remember, sweaty selfies are not only BOD workouts. They're not only BODI workouts. They're walks. They're other workouts that you might do. I got up and I was in quarantine and I walked around till I got, 3,000 steps today. Whatever it is for you, that's a win.
It's a celebration,
That's
not a
win.
brag. I need to put that out there. A sweaty selfie is a celebration, camaraderie. It's a place we feel safe. It's not a brag. I mean, or it can be a brag. That's great too. But don't look at it that way if that's what you think rubs you the wrong way about doing it. It's celebratory.
It's also really about looking at your reflection and seeing the best in yourself, trusting yourself that you can do this. Jen reminded me that high five in the mirror every day, doing that high five. Okay. And I want to end it here. I'm so happy. Yoni, you just came on, but you don't look so good.
I just spent 2 hours on a line getting children tested for COVID because it was wrapping around the block. So we just walked in. That's why I look like I look. So there you go. But I just, lie to me always, baby. But I will say one quick thing about someone who just said about that coloring in page. And I have a whole post about it, and without getting emotional, because it was an emotional thing. So I'm just going to talk about it plainly. I think it's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. For 365 days, I had movement. We put up that sheet last year through bronchitis, through being sick. It didn't matter if it was in my house or outside walking. I literally did not miss one day, which I still am trying to wrap my head around. But for 365 days in a row, it was so cool to find something, even in my house when I was stuck in house or had a kid and be doing whatever, to find that half an hour to move your body. I don't know. It's I think one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life.
I'm crying.
So just
I'm
that little
really
thing.
crying. And just guys, this is what it's all about. This community, you showing up on the calls, like make that like something you're going to do and celebrate every week. Hey, you know what? I took 30 minutes on a flipping Sunday night to connect with women who are aligned with my goals, who I can talk about this stuff with, because my other friends don't want to hear about it. Have you ever been working on something and like you're working on your marriage and you're like, you know what? My husband said this really stupid thing and I did not respond. And like, you cannot say that to everybody. Like, you need other people who are like working on their marriage. And here you're like, I drank an extra liter of water, and everyone else is like, I don't care. We're like, oh my God, you drink water. Okay. You need that in your life. Reclaim that it's okay, that you deserve it, that you're worthy of it, and it's not temporary. We're here with you forever. Have an amazing week. Connect with your coach, find an accountability buddy. Go right now, post a picture of yourself. I was on the call. Somebody better be selfieing the call. There's some amazing people on the call.
Lily, review one last time before we hang up, because I put in some of the things that you said, but I think even if people just popped on or not, I think the accountability partner aspect is huge.
Yeah.
Just repeat.
So
if
this
people
is
want to
how
search
you
for
write
one.
a description to really find the right accountability partner. And if you talk to people who've gone through many accountability buddies, this is really key. Who you are. Somebody like write this down as I'm saying it. Who you are, where you live, including your time zone. Okay. You don't have to be in the same time zone, but you want to make sure that it will work out for you. How many kids you have, stage of life. Like I have young kids, I have older kids, big family, small family. Okay. A little bit of connection here. Okay. Then most importantly, the real thing you want help with. My biggest struggle is water. My biggest struggle is going to bed at night. My biggest struggle is dinner in bed. My biggest struggle is emotional eating when I'm stressed. My biggest struggle is my super full-time job and that I don't make time for myself. Whatever is your real big struggle, because these things, the first things are just how you're going to connect with somebody. This thing is what matters most, because you could have somebody who's the opposite in all these things, and you're going to be able to really connect and really work on that thing that you want to work on. I really struggle with tracking, and I want someone who's going to look at my tracker and I'm going to look at their tracker, and I'm really going to learn and work on being a better, consistent, more detailed tracker, because someone else has to see and understand what I wrote. Like whatever it is that you need, put it really succinctly in, and then share one thing about yourself that like would make you a great buddy for somebody. Like, you know what? I'm really consistent. Like if you send me a message, I'm really good at showing back up. Or you know what? Like I'm really good once a week at like really committing to something. I am really loving. I am a great communicator. Whatever. Like share one thing that would attract somebody to you guys, because this is like dating a little bit, okay? And if you don't find the perfect match right away, nobody be offended, okay? Like take a minute here and like take a deep breath. And it's okay if you start with somebody, give it a 2-week conditional thing. We didn't mention that before, but I think that's really smart to say, hey, we're going to try this out for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we're going to see, did we click or we didn't click? If we didn't click, we can just be friends in the group. Okay. This person does not have to be your BFF forever. Okay. Sometimes it's awesome if that works out, but like, it's not always going to be the case. It can just be somebody that's really focused on making this change with you and celebrating those milestones. And it can even be a 3-person. Have an amazing week, guys. It's an honor, a pleasure, and the light of my life to be on these calls with you guys every Sunday. So I won't ever miss one. And I hope I see you guys committed and reclaiming your futures here every week this year.
Yay.